For much more on Taylor Pendrith's first career PGA Tour win, let's bring Bob Weeks into the conversation. And Bob, Taylor Pendrith has been through a lot health-wise throughout his career, but now he's a winner on the PGA Tour. How impressive was this performance?
I mean, it was pretty impressive. It was a little crazy down the stretch with all that going on, and Taylor even admitted that. He said, the last half hour or so was just sort of almost bizarre in what happened and the changing leads and back and forth. But, this is something that we've been expecting from Taylor Pendrith for a long time. Now, he has gone through injuries, and some of the weirdest injuries, like a torn muscle in his palm, and he broke a rib while he was actually playing at the Players' Championship. And it goes on and on and on. And it was sort of one step forward, two steps back for much of his career, while his peers like Mackenzie Hughes and Corey Connors, who was his roommate at university, were graduating up to the PGA Tour, winning on the PGA Tour. He was still stuck down on PGA Tour Canada and the Corn Ferry Tour. And it's nice to see him being healthy and being able to put it all together. I can remember going back about 8 or 10 years. We went down to do a little feature on Corey and Taylor at Kent State University. And the coach there, Herb Page, legendary Herb Page, he's from Scarborough, Ontario. He's in the Canadian Golf Hall of Fame, but he was the coach for 30-some years at Kent State. And when we were down there, he pulled me aside and he says, of all the players who've come through here, that one right there, Pendrith, he's going to be the superstar. He is going to be the one who's really going to shine. And maybe now that he's healthy and he's able to keep things going, he's got his mind all relaxed as well, which is another key component. I think maybe we're going to see the best of Taylor Pendrith.
Yeah, to your point, he's had tons of potential for quite some time. So my question to you, Bob, is do you think this W will open up the floodgates for Taylor Pendrith?
I think we have to be a little bit careful on doing that. This was a week when everything came together, obviously. He drives it very, very well, but as we saw in that interview, it's his wedge and his short game that really got the things done. And you get breaks when you win tournaments, he chipped in 4 times on the week. So I think he's going to play more consistently good golf. Whether he's going to win again, winning is hard on the PGA Tour, even when you play well. You can ask Rory McIlroy about that this year. But I think we're going to see him sort of be that 6th guy amongst the Canadians now. He's going to be up in the top of the leaderboards with all the other guys now, and it's nice to have another one joining the gang.
Now, last week on Golf Talk Canada Radio, you, Mark, and I each picked our International President's Cup teams, and Taylor Pendrith was nowhere near our radar, but now he's won on the PGA Tour this season. How do you think that changes, Bob, for Pendrith, both at the President's Cup and the Olympics?
Well, just added another layer of tough choices for Mike Weir in terms of the President's Cup. I think Taylor still has to prove a little bit more. I mean, a win is great, and listen, you got to be playing well when you won, but let's look at his collective year so far. It hasn't been great. Now, if he continues to play well, then I think he adds an element that Mike Weir might be looking for. He's a long hitter off the tee, obviously. That's why he was picked the last time to play at Quail Hollow. So, I mean, he could potentially sneak in there. Mike Weir is going to have some very difficult choices, and you want to hope that one or at least one, but maybe 2 can be automatic picks that will lighten things up. But I think we're looking at possibly 4 Canadians on that President's Cup team. And as far as the Olympics, it's going to be a race for that 2nd spot. I think Nick Taylor is pretty much locked up 1. We've only got about a month and a half to go. So I tell you, those guys are working hard to try and get that 2nd spot and go to Paris in August.
Well, with the win, Taylor Pendrith moves up 12 spots to number 14 on the International President's Cup team standings. Okay, we're